Lane Kiffin is a madman, ladies and gentlemen. He is a crazy person. Welcome into the show, the Ian Fritts Show. It is me, Ian Fritts. If you are new here, go ahead and subscribe down below and like this video. Comment down below as well. That is where we lead the show, folks. We lead with Lane Kiffin going to LSU. And you're thinking, Ian, that's where you're going to lead the show? Yes, folks, that is where I lead the show, because it is the biggest news in college football right now. You also see, if you're watching on YouTube, two men next to Lane Kiffin behind me. One of them is John Sumrall going to Florida, and the other is Alex Golesh going to Auburn. We will talk about those moves as well, but we have to talk about the man in the middle there, Lane Kiffin, head coach, former of Ole Miss, who are in the playoffs and going to be in the playoffs, going to LSU later today. He is flying there later tonight, and that is where we're going to start. There were reports from Pete Thamel, as well as On3, as well as Ross Dellinger at Yahoo Sports. Literally everybody that knows anything has reported that he is leaving today, and he will not coach Ole Miss in the playoffs, folks. That is where I want to start, because he's a psychopath. He is a psychopath. Look at what is happening right now, folks. This man has a chance to win a national title, And if you don't think Ole Miss has a chance to win a national title, then you haven't been watching them all year long. Offensively, unbelievable. Trinidad Chambliss, maybe if he played the first two games, would probably be the Heisman frontrunner in my mind. If you look at his numbers and what he's been doing, he's doing things comparable to Johnny Manziel and Cam Newton when they won, and Jaden Daniels when they won the Heisman Trophy. So he would be my front runner had he played the first two games. And even then, he still might be my vote if I had one. He's going to leave all that and go to LSU. Why is he doing this? One, again, to reiterate, this person is a psychopath. He is a psychopath. Not saying psychopaths are bad, Lane. I'm not saying you're bad. I'm not saying you're making a wrong decision. I'm just saying it is a psychopathic decision, okay? Maybe not wrong, maybe not right. I don't know. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. I don't know you personally, but you are sacrificing a chance at a national title. This Ole Miss team can win the national title. Without their head coach and without their offensive staff, I'm not so sure. And that is what leads me to my next point. He is taking his entire offensive staff, most likely with him, to LSU. A report earlier today, he told his offensive staff, he said, hey, if you're not on the plane to Baton Rouge tonight, you're not getting a spot on my new staff at LSU. You're not coming with me, folks. Okay, so most likely his offensive staff is going to go with him to Baton Rouge. That would leave no offensive staff on his team at LSU, at Ole Miss right now. Okay, so what happens to this Ole Miss team if all they have left is a defensive staff? And maybe some of those offensive players jump in that portal and say, hey, I'm going to LSU. I don't think the players will, because apparently reports are the players are actually pissed at Lane Kiffin right now. They're not so happy with good old Lane Kiffin right now. They're pretty upset at their head ball coach for bailing on them when those kids have a chance to win a national title, which may be the only opportunity for those kids to win a national title. Now, if you're looking at Lane, but you got to do what's best for you. You got to do what's best for you. He thinks going to LSU is best for him. I'm never going to blame a guy for doing that. Now, what happens with Ole Miss? What happens with this team that is a bona fide top 6 seed? They're not dropping past 6. Maybe they are with Lane Kiffin out there. Maybe they are with their offensive staff right now. That's the question that needs to be answered right now with Ole Miss. What is going to happen on Tuesday when we see that Ole Miss doesn't have any staffers on the offense? There's not a quarterback coach. There's not an offensive coordinator. There's not an offensive line coach who may be one of the best offensive line coaches in the country with what he's done there at Ole Miss the past few years, making just offensive lines out of Band-Aids, folks. That's some good stuff. What's going to happen? Is the committee going to say, hey, Ole Miss, look, we like you. We like what you've done this year. You've been really good. But who's going to tell you what to do come Saturday? I know that the players are good, but who's going to tell you what to do come Saturday? You got nobody on the staff. Literally nobody there. Who is going to tell these players what to do? Lane Kiffin's not. He's going to be chilling in Baton Rouge Mansion. Okay? Offense coordinator's not going to be there. Offensive line guy's not going to be there. Wide receivers coach not going to be there. Running backs coach not going to be there unless they all stay, which they probably won't, because they're going to get paid more money at LSU. They're going to get bigger opportunities at LSU. That's what's going to happen. They're going to be able to recruit better players at LSU. Ole Miss might we have to be open to the possibility that the committee may just drop Ole Miss completely out of the playoffs, folks. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's going to be a discussion with the committee come Tuesday night. It is going to be a discussion with the committee come Tuesday night. Should it be? I don't think so. Will it be? Yes. Will they drop out? My gut tells me no. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can jump over on this channel to see my new updated college football playoff predictions. And if you're listening on Spotify, it is on this same show. Without further ado, we need to talk about Alex Golesh to Auburn and John Sumrall to Florida really quickly here. Both G5 guys, both maybe top 2, top 3 teams in the G5 this year. Alex Golesh at USF going to Auburn, and John Sumrall at Tulane going to the Florida Gators. Look, let's start with John Sumrall going to Florida, okay? It was reported earlier this week that John Sumrall became the Florida's leading man after Florida discovered that Lane Kiffin didn't want anything to do with Florida. He didn't want anything to do with those Gators down there in Gainesville. So they said, hey, John Sumrall, you are our guy. Here's a blank check. Here's what we're going to do for you in recruiting. Here's what we're going to do for you in the transfer portal. And I would not be shocked if he brings some guys from other staffs who are very prominent in the SEC, maybe even the Big Ten, to his team down there in Florida. John Sumrall is a great hire, folks, and you're thinking, he hasn't done anything. Well, I'm going to say great hire for all 3 of these because at this moment, I think they are all great hires, and if they turn out to be bad, I will be wrong, but I think all 3 of these coaches are successful guys at their new jobs, okay? So I love John Sumrall, love what he's done there down at Tulane with less than stellar talent down there. He's going to kill it at Florida. A lot of people are saying, hey, we just replaced Billy Napier with new Billy Napier. No, you didn't. Okay. He's had sustained success there at Tulane. He's beaten good quality programs there at Tulane. So I like this hire in John Sumrall. And then you look at Alex Golesh going to Auburn. Keldrick Falk, Auburn defensive end, last night was asked what they want in a head coach. They said they want a guy with dog in him. Okay. Well, I think you just got a guy, Alex Golesh, with dog in him, okay? He's a first what's the word? First edition American. That's not the word. I'm going to go first edition American, okay? His parents immigrated here, and he is a born here American from Moscow who just learned what football was. And he said, hey, I love this football stuff. I'm going to become a head coach at USF, and then I'm going to become a head coach at Auburn. I'm going to grind day in, day out. USF, I believe, was like 3-20 when he got there at USF, turned them around, got good players, got good athletes, and now he's going to a very good program in Auburn who has money, who has resources, who has talent there in state. And they may have a quarterback and a wide receiver group that could be very good for him to win some football games starting next year. I'm not thinking this is going to take 5-6 years. This should be a 1 to 2 year deal for Alex Golesh and the quality of coach he is there at Auburn. Love that hire. I might love that hire the most out of all 3 of these. Yeah, Lane Kiffin, we already know he's really good, so I assume he's going to be really good at LSU. Okay, so I can't really be amazed at that hire or impressed with that hire, but I think Auburn might have gotten a better deal with John Sumrall, with going with Alex Golesh over John Sumrall. Just what I think based on how these guys have coached and what they've done. I believe in Alex Golesh, and I believe he's going to do good things there at Auburn.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State's Jalen Watts Jackson, and he scores on the last play of the game. 45-40, 45-50,